The Vorthan Empire had swept across 17 star systems in less than a galactic year. Their obsidian warships moved like shadows through space, overwhelming every defense with calculated precision. The blue-skinned Vorthans had perfected the art of conquest through superior technology and ruthless efficiency. Admiral Keth stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion, watching the tactical display with cold satisfaction. Before them lay the outer rim of human space, a collection of mining colonies and trading posts that would fall just as easily as all the others. The humans had been warned of the Vorthan advance, but intelligence reports suggested they possessed only primitive weapons and outdated vessels. "Deploy the standard formation," Keth commanded, his voice echoing through the command center. "Begin." The bombardment sequence. The Vorthan fleet arranged itself in the familiar pattern that had brought them victory after victory. Massive dreadnoughts formed the center, flanked by sleek destroyers and swarms of fighter craft. Their weapons charged with the distinctive purple glow of Vorthan plasma technology. The first human colony offered no resistance. The orbital platforms crumbled under the initial assault, and the surface installations were reduced to glass within minutes. The second and third colonies fell even faster, their defenses proving inadequate against Vorthan firepower. As the fleet approached the fourth system, long-range sensors detected something unexpected. A single human vessel hung in space between the Vorthans and their target. It was unlike anything in their intelligence files, a long, angular ship with unusual hull plating and weapon configurations that defied classification. "Scan that vessel," Keth ordered. The sensor officer's tendrils twitched with confusion. "Sir, the readings are ... inconsistent. The hull appears to be some form of composite armor we've never encountered. Energy signatures suggest weapons of unknown design." Keth's eyes narrowed. "One ship against our entire fleet? Are they planning to surrender?" A communication channel crackled to life. The voice that emerged was calm, almost casual. "Vorthan vessels, this is Captain Blake of the UES Defiant. You are ordered to withdraw from human space immediately." The bridge fell silent. Several officers exchanged glances, unsure whether to laugh or be insulted. Keth activated the response channel. "Human Captain, you face the combined might of the Vorthan Second Fleet. Stand down immediately or be destroyed." "Negative," Blake replied without hesitation. "I have my orders. Turn around and leave, or I'll have to stop you." Keth's patience evaporated. Destroy that vessel. Show these humans the price of defiance. The first wave of Vorthan fighters streaked toward the Defiant, their plasma cannons charging. The human ship remained motionless until the last possible moment, then suddenly came alive with movement. Point defense systems that had been invisible moments before erupted with streams of kinetic projectiles. The Vorthan fighters, designed to outmaneuver energy weapons, found themselves shredded by the unexpected solid rounds. Kinetic weapons? The tactical officer gasped. Who still uses such primitive technology? The Defiant's main guns rotated with mechanical precision. When they fired, the projectiles moved faster than anything the Vorthans had ever seen. The first destroyer in the formation simply vanished, its hull punctured by tungsten penetrators. Moving at relativistic speeds, Keth's confidence wavered. All ships converge on that vessel. Concentrate fire. The Vorthan fleet adjusted its formation, bringing dozens of heavy weapons to bear on the lone human ship. Purple plasma beams lanced through space, but the Defiant's movement patterns defied prediction. It rolled, twisted, and accelerated in ways that seemed to ignore basic physics. "How is it moving like that?" demanded the navigation officer. The answer came in the form of brief blue flashes along the human ship's hull. The Defiant wasn't just using conventional engines. It was manipulating space-time itself. creating localized distortions that allowed impossible maneuvers. As the battle continued, the Vorthons began to realize they were facing something beyond their experience. The human ship's weapons weren't just kinetic. They were using exotic matter, antimatter, and technologies that shouldn't have been possible for a species they dismissed as primitive. Another Vorthon dreadnought disappeared in a flash of annihilation. As the Defiant's main cannon fired again, the massive projectile contained a micro-black hole that consumed the target ship from within, before evaporating in a burst of hawking radiation. "Sir," the communications officer reported, his voice shaking, "we're receiving surrender requests from our own ships." Keth watched in horror as his fleet began to break apart. The Defiant moved through the formation like a predator among prey, its weapons systems destroying everything they touched. The human ship's shields absorbed every plasma beam the Vorthons could throw at it, the energy somehow being redirected and amplified. "Vorthon fleet," Captain Blake's voice cut through the chaos, "this is your final warning. Withdraw immediately, or face complete annihilation." The remaining Vorthon ships were already turning away, their crews too terrified to continue the assault. Keth found himself alone on the bridge, his officers having fled to escape pods. "How?" he whispered to himself. "How did we underestimate them so completely?" Blake's voice came over the communication channel one last time, softer now, but no, less determined. "Admiral, humanity has been watching your advance for months. We've studied your tactics, your technology, your weaknesses. You conquered those other species because they fought you on your terms. We chose to fight you on ours." The Defiant held position as the surviving Vorthon ships jumped to hyperspace, their formation scattered and their morale shattered. The human vessel remained alone in the void, its mission accomplished through the application of technologies that the Vorthons couldn't even comprehend. Word of the defeat spread quickly through the Vorthon Empire. The species that had seemed so primitive had revealed themselves to be far more advanced than anyone had imagined. The conquest of human space was abandoned, and the Vorthons retreated to their core worlds, forever changed by their encounter with the ship that had stood alone against their entire fleet. The Defiant remained on patrol, a silent guardian protecting the boundary between human space and the galaxy beyond, ready to remind anyone who might forget that humanity would never be conquered with ease.